Hey guys, Hillary from Pine Grove Sporting Dogs and Miss Betty White here. We're going to go over some aspects of grooming the puppy coat. Amy O'Clair wrote a fabulous article on grooming out the puppy coat that is sort of the go-to article for Griffon people. And the American Wirehaired Pointing Griffon Association has it on their website. I have it on my website, pinegrovesportingdogs.com. And if you have any questions about grooming or want to know more, I actually have a website that's under construction called groomyourgriff.com, and we will be posting helpful videos and articles and whatnot on there just to make things simpler for you to groom your Griffon. And the reason why I actually got into dog grooming, I used to breed wire fox terriers, again, wire coat, and I found that a lot of groomers didn't really know how to groom them, so they would do what's called a strip and clip. And so it's kind of cheating. They would clip most of the dog and then strip part of the back so that the color would be more vibrant. And I wanted to learn how to do it right. So I started learning how to groom, and I actually became a dog groomer. And then I got into Griffons. And holy Hannah, Griffon people have a hard time with Griffon grooming. And it's actually really, really easy. But people aren't confident with how to groom their own dog, so they take it to a groomer. That's so valid, because that's the whole point of a dog groomer. You trust them, you take your dog there to be groomed, and you expect it to come back looking like the breed standard. And a lot of groomers have no idea what a Griffon is, how to deal with the coat, and they end up shaving them like a doodle, which is the biggest travesty on earth as far as I'm concerned, because you in good faith took your dog to be groomed and it came back with a ruined coat from a groomer. So that prompted me to groom my own dogs, and I compete in dog shows and other events, and how the dogs look is an advertisement for me. So it's really important that my dogs look nice and have a good coat. So I would love to help you have your dog look great and have a nice coat, and have you able to do it yourself. It's quite simple. There's only some tools that you need, and I'm going to be doing a video series that sort of tells you all the steps that you need to go through and the equipment that you need and where to get it, and that's going to be at groomyourgriff.com, coming soon, probably this fall. And you can always ask me on Facebook a question, or send me an email. Again, it's pinegrovesportingdogs.com. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye. So Betty is 6 months old, and as you can see, she's got a lot of hair right now. Desperately needs to be groomed. That puppy coat needs to come out. Plus she's got shows coming up, so I am going to give her a little groomy and see where we get. You see how the coat is a little bit wild and it sticks up like this? This is what needs to come out. And when you hand strip it, you just grab it with your fingers and pull back in the direction you want the hair to lay. Okay, let's try this again. I had screaming dogs in the background and had to stop. The joy of having multiple dogs. This is Betty White. She's 6 months old, wire-haired pointing Griffon. She has a lot of coat right now, which needs to come out, the puppy coat, and also get her ready for the show ring coming up. So the puppy coat has a lot of soft texture to it, and you can see there's like a lot of undercoat. Her coat is actually spectacular. It's quite wiry even now as a puppy. So once I get all this soft puppy coat out, it'll be even better and really nice and harsh to the touch. So when the coat is ready to come out, you'll see it's like quite curly, and not necessarily curly, but it curls upwards. And if you run your hands towards the dog's head, all the pieces that need to come out kind of stick up in the air like this, and you grasp them with your thumb and your finger, and you pull them back towards the lay of the coat, and out they come. So it's quite easy. She doesn't feel a thing. I don't know if you can see these little hairs that have come out, but it's super easy. It does take a while, and I'm one of those hardcore hand stripping people where I'm sort of more of a purist. So I believe in, rather than using a lot of tools, using your hands. You have to use the proper technique. If you bend your wrist as you're pulling it, you're going to really hurt yourself, give yourself carpal tunnel. If you're using tools and you flick your wrist as you're doing it, what'll happen is you'll cut the coat rather than strip the coat, and that ruins the coat. So you need to be very mindful of what you're doing and the position of your arm. You want to keep your wrist straight and just pull back in the lay of the coat. So that's sort of the main thing that I'm going to be doing with her today. I also have a bunch of tools that I use. And Griffon people, they love this. It's the Mars Coat King. They are fairly sharp when you get them. You can buy dulled ones. I'm sort of paranoid, so I always run mine through sand. You can run it through a carpet. You can try to cut cardboard with it, which isn't so great with these ones, but works fine with the little stripping knives. So Mars Coat King, I have it with the 12 teeth, and I also have a shorter version that I use around the head. And then there's other rakes that you can get. This is called the Andis rake, and it's a fine tooth rake. This is how it comes now, the new version. So you can also get them in a wider tooth. And again, you've got to be really careful you don't cut the coat, but these are great for helping to pull out the undercoat, especially of your puppy. And then there are various knives. So this is a coarse stripping knife. This is a fine stripping knife. I use this on the body, again with the proper technique, and also dulled. This one I use on the face, ears, and lightly on the furnishings, but I don't really use it very much. The ears for sure, I do use it. And then this, I can't remember where I got it. I think it's Lithuania or something. Jessica Daltrey, she's a spectacular groomer. She's a professional groomer. She was doing a seminar on grooming the wire fox terrier, and she was saying how great these were, and so I ordered this through her. And it's a stone. And so you would just grasp the hair between your thumb and the stone, and then pull in the direction that it grows. So I'll just get Betty to stand up here. And again, you push the hair forward so that it stands up on end, get your little stone, and pull back in the direction that the hair is going to lay. And you can see there's some pieces here that came right out from the root, and you can actually see the little root tip on the ends. So that's how I do the stripping. And then also I go over the whole body with this comb, so it's got a wide and a fine tooth. And this is sort of how you check to make sure the dog is groomed, because Griffons, especially puppies, can get little mats that are right against the skin. And if you brush your dog, you're not going to see the mats. What's going to happen is the brush is just going to glide right over it. So there's a number of different brushes that people use. This is a pin brush. Griffons don't tend to like these at all. And I've heard that some people say this is good at getting out mats. That is a complete fallacy in my world. Don't use them. Don't believe in it. It's good for the legs, though, if you want to, once the mats are gone for the furnishings, it's nice. And then this is a boar bristle brush. It's nice and stiff. Again, I would use that after, towards the lay of the coat. Same with this little guy. It's got some firm bristles and some soft bristles. But if you use this and there's mats there and you're brushing, it's just going to slide right over top of them. So the only way you actually know if your dog is mat free, aside from digging your hands in there and feeling around, is to check your work with the comb. Because if there was a mat, it would stop and it wouldn't be able to get through the coat. And then you know, uh-oh, got to work on that area. And the best thing to use to remove mats, of course, is Cowboy Magic Detangler and Shine. Any horse store has it. You Google it. It comes in a little tube, and it also comes in a big container. It lasts forever. A little tiny drop goes a very, very long way. And then I also bought the Artero dematting conditioning spray, and the dogs don't like the smell of it, so when you spray it, they kind of like this, but it does work pretty well. I still prefer Cowboy Magic. If your dog is really, really matted, you can buy these little dematting knives, and these ones you don't dull, you just use them however they are, and they're curved or straight, and what they do is they actually cut through the mat. So once you've sort of got to the heart of the matter, then you go back with your comb and then you work on that tangle really gently. You need patience, but never, ever, ever shave your Griffon. It is going to destroy the coat, and it ruins all the insulated properties of their coat. Their coat is supposed to protect them in all kinds of weather and all kinds of terrain. And if you shave the coat, it makes it completely soft, everything sticks to it, and it doesn't do what it's intended to do to protect the dog. So if you think your dog is hot, hand strip, thin the coat, and that will help them if you find they're, you know, getting warm. Well, Griffons don't like intense heat, but I don't really strip mine down, and they've been totally fine. It's important to keep underneath the ear flap fairly tight because it needs to breathe. These dogs love the water. If you don't make sure it's nice and dry in there and have airflow, they could get ear infections. So that's one thing that I always tell people is I remove the hair from inside the ear and you just pluck it out, and you can see like she doesn't care at all. And then I thin the hair underneath the ear flap just so it helps dry out that ear canal. Another really, really important part of looking after your Griffon is nails. And I say this all the time, nails, nails, nails. You've probably heard no foot, no horse. It's the same is true for a Griffon. You have a hunting partner, you need them to be sound in the field. If you leave their nails too long, it changes the way their tendons are in their foot because they're not standing correctly. Tendons through the leg as well. And that can cause a damage to the dog. Not to mention, nails really long can crack, and that is really, really painful for your dog. So to cut the nails, I have nail clippers, and I like these little guys. They work quite well. I tend to take the tips off with these, and then my Dremel with a Diamogroove bit. It's very expensive, this bit. It will last forever. It is amazingly sharp, and it doesn't have the same kind of vibration that the sandpaper bits do. And when I say sharp, it is strong enough to cut the nails, but it's not sharp enough to hurt you or the dog. And so I find that with Griffons, people have one heck of a time with the nails. And a lot of that is more you giving in to the dog than it's the dog actually having a hard time with nails. So you obviously want to be careful you don't cut the quick, and there is a little powder called Quick Stop, so if you do accidentally cut too much and the dog's nail's bleeding, you can put this stuff on and it stops it from bleeding. If that happens, just say, oops, oh well, you know, and carry on. If you go, oh God, you poor thing, oh my God, I feel so bad, oh God, oh, no. And then you take the dog off the table and you're just sucking it up, and then the dog thinks, oh God, this was horrible, like, I'm gonna die here. And then the next time you go to do the nails, it'll be that much worse. Puppies like to struggle. With Betty, she was screaming like a stuck pig. And if I had gone, oh my God, I'm hurting her, and stopped, she would have won. And then it would have been much more of a struggle next time. She wasn't screaming because she was in pain. She was screaming because she didn't want me to do it. So I'll show you. I've already done her nails, but I'll show you. So grooming table is the best investment too that you can make, especially if you're by yourself like I am and you don't have somebody to help you. And I find that people wrestling with the dog, again, makes it worse. If somebody like wanted to cut your hair and they threw you on the ground and sat on you to cut your bangs or something, you would resist, obviously. And it's the same way with these guys. Calm, cool, collected, and don't give in to tantrums, and reward them. So I do nails, then I give a treat. And it tends to work quite well. So I'll show you with Betty. Let's see if she'll even act up. So actually, I should say, my Dremel is really loud right now. They are normally quite quiet. I dropped it on the ground when I was grooming a dog, and now the vibration is more. So they're not normally this loud. So we'll see what she does. Job. Good girl. And treat. And then the same with the hind legs. It's actually a lot simpler than people make it out to be. If you start young and you stay calm, it's not that difficult. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Mars cocaine and see what hair we can get out of Miss Betty. So you just start by raking along the back and along the sides, the way that the hair grows. And as you do it, you want to pull the hair above sort of tight, because otherwise it sort of pulls the skin down, and you don't want to do that. So this makes it a lot easier to see what you're doing, see the way the coat is, and then this is what comes out. And this is this can be done on a weekly basis, and this helps take the puppy coat out and make way for the new, harsher adult coat. So I'm going to keep going on with Betty here, and we'll come back in a little while and I'll show you how far we got. Alright guys, we're back. This is Miss Betty from Pine Grove Sporting Dogs, Betty White, and we're starting to remove the puppy coat so her harsher adult coat can come in. And she looks like a classic Griffon. So when you last saw me, I was using the Mars Coat King, and that's all I've done so far. And I want to show you how much hair comes off of Miss Betty. So there's little Miss Betty here, and this huge ball of hair is what we removed with just the Mars Coat King. So I follow up with that, and I use the Andis rake a little bit, which is this one here, and I would just go over it again. Really gently, very, very gently, in the direction that the hair grows. And it doesn't take as much off in bulk, but it does take out the little fine undercoat, which is really, really soft and light in color. And so I go over her with that, and then again, once that's done, I'm going to have her stand Betty. And again, the hair up with my hand, I'm just going to back brush it, and then grab it, and I'll hand strip her completely after that. And sort of, I don't know if I want to say it's lazy, but it's a lot easier to use the Mars Coat King and the Andis rake at first to take some of that extra bulk out, and it makes hand stripping a lot simpler. So I probably will only strip her for about half an hour and see where I get from there. Also with the ears, this is the only time I ever use scissors. So I go over the ears with thinning shears, and thinning shears look like this. They've got the serrated teeth there like that, and what that does is it doesn't leave like a straight edge that looks really raw, so this helps make it look natural. And I go around the ear leather and just neaten the edges so it's not scraggly, and then after that I'm going to use this fine stripping knife to just go over the ears and pull out some of the excess fine ear hair so it's a nice, smoother, uniform look. And I will use my fingers only, not the knives, because I don't want to do that near her eyes, to just pluck some of the hair to open up the eye area. And then she'll be done and ready to go to her first show. Okay guys, if you have any questions, let me know. pinegrovesportingdogs@gmail.com. Cheers. Bye.